for people to, one thing that I made sure during my last internship is you doing something that taking the weight off of vice president, either associate, even an analyst, it doesn't really matter what level, but really just taking something off of someone's plate and doing it and owning it, I think is really big, because then when you leave, they're like, wow, like now I have to do this myself. Like I need this person, a willingness to learn. And with my manager, I had weekly feedback on how I was doing on a particular project, and I think that feedback definitely helped to get me a returning offer for the firm, because I was able to change some things around, some things I can improve in, and definitely take action on the things and continue to do the things that I was doing well.
So if you were to encounter incoming freshman next year, you see someone who's basically coming out of high school, you're relatively raw. From an interpersonal perspective, and how does that person build their persona? What would you recommend to them, the skill set that we need from an interpersonal standpoint in order to be able to present themselves to someone like Goldman Sachs or Google for that matter?
Well, I just, since I worked with Goldman Sachs last year and I got a returning offer, I just became the campus ambassador for Morgan State for Goldman. So one of the things that we talk about is, how do we get students from Morgan to want to apply to Goldman? Because, getting them is more complicated than just getting them to show up. And that's really the main emphasis, getting them to show up to the informational, getting them to have an impact. And really, I really think the one thing that you can do as a freshman is grades, right? Because you might come in with some experience, but the first thing that's gonna hit the resume is the grades. Can this person perform well? And then outside of that is really what you're doing outside of grades. Grades are important, but is this person involved on campus? And it doesn't necessarily mean, when I say that, just to set the record straight, I think some students take involved as like being in like 5 or 6 different organizations. I think it's just really just being in one organization and doing something, making impact in the organization, not just resume filler and saying, oh, I'm a part of this, this, and this. Like really just maybe picking 1, maybe 2 things, and really making impact in those 1 or 2 organizations. Like, what did you do to help the organization expand, grow?
Now, how about the selection of major? Is that something that's evaluated as well?
I know within Google and Goldman Sachs, all companies, now I don't think it's not going to the direction where it's a finance role. We're looking for a finance person, because really that's not really it's not really good, because they'll have finance people thinking the same way. We all think about numbers, how to save money, but you really want a diverse group of people. So you want a history person that's never, maybe never looked at something in finance. So they give a perspective. I've worked with biology majors, trying to think, chemistry majors. I've worked with economics majors, quantitative majors, any type of major I probably work with.
So what you're saying is that even though someone might not select a finance or a business major, they can still qualify. But they just have to know to go and look for it. I guess stepping outside that comfort zone of saying, okay, if I major in history, I don't have to necessarily be a history teacher. I can still go for something else and bring a wealth of experience to the table.
Right. And finance is not really rocket science, right? Like, you can be taught how to look at the market. You can be taught the models that the different companies use. You can be taught all those things. So they're looking for someone who's willing to be taught. And even if you are a finance major, that doesn't necessarily mean that you know all those things anyway. Because what you learn in class and actually at the desk, those are 2 different things anyway. So you have to be taught. But I think they're just looking for people that are willing to be taught and who have enthusiasm and who at least show some sort of interest in the industry.
Thank you, Matt. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Take care. Well, I think one of the things, as we discussed before, is that it's not necessarily what you major in or where you started, but I think to do the research.